Hello, a very warm welcome to you. It is another beautiful Sunday. My name is Susan West, and this is Africa Rise. I am so happy that we made it through another week to see you again. And of course, today we're having Charlie Boy, area father. He's known by so many names. He is Charles Oputa, and at the very last minute, I got his wife, Lady D, fantastic woman, to come on the show as well. So we're going to be having area father Charlie Boy, aka, on the program today. We're going to be talking about the Africa we want. Now, the Africa we want is um, there is an Agenda 2063. Agenda 2063 is the blueprint and master plan for transforming Africa into the global powerhouse. Of course, Africa and her diaspora into the global powerhouse for the future. And so, this is what is going to be form the premise of our discussion today. And of course, African family values. I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, like, when you want to talk about African family values, is it Charlie Boy? Oh, yes, it is Charlie Boy. It is Charlie Boy. I mean, who else would be better to talk to? And so, um, I'm just going to give you a little download of what Agenda 2063 aims to achieve. So, Agenda 2063 aims to, by 2063, wants to see Africa in a place where the voices of African people will be heard. And of course, a prosperous Africa based on inclusive growth, and sustainable development. An integrated continent, politically united and based on the ideals of Pan-Africanism and the vision of Africa's Renaissance. Yes. An Africa of good governance, democracy, respect for human rights, justice, and the rule of law. All these are things that Africa is struggling with at this point. A peaceful and secure Africa that cannot be overemphasized. An Africa with a strong cultural identity, common heritage, shared values and ethics. An Africa whose development is people driven, relying on the potential of African people, especially its women and youth, and caring for children. Africa as a strong and united and influential global player and partner. I mean, right now, we seem as though we're the small boys on the field. By 2063, this agenda aims to put Africa, on the stage, playing as equal partners as the rest of the developed world. And so, we're going to be talking about what your Africa should be, what your Africa will be, what Africa do you want as an African? These are the questions that we will be. I have Charlie Boy and his wife already, but we're having just a little bit of technical issue. Again, of course, we're there in Nigeria, and so we will usually have a little bit of these hiccups. So hopefully, they'll be able to join us again in a few seconds. Yes, welcome, Rahina Bello. I can see you. Wilkes Promise. Good evening. Thank you for joining. I can see Okoko Nathaniel. I can see, hey, Louis, my good friend Louis. I can see you. And yes. So in the meantime, whilst we're waiting for Charlie Boy and his wife to come back on the system, these are the things we're going to be talking about. What should your Africa be? Yes, Helen D, I can see you. Welcome. Every time I look forward to seeing you. Yes, and I'm happy now. Twinkle Oruwarie, thank you for joining. Charlie Boy was here just a sec ago, and then we had a little bit of a hiccup trying to get him to connect. So just give us a little bit of a few seconds, and he will be back on. Okay, I can see him coming back. I can see you. Yes, I can see you. For people on Instagram, we're just about to go live because Instagram normally will time you out after an hour. So sorry that you're missing you're missing this beginning bits. Yes. Nathaniel Okoko says, I want to see Africa united by commerce. Absolutely. Boundaryless Africa. Hello. Greetings, Charlie Boy, Area Father, aka and Lady D, the most beautiful, amazing
Hey,
woman.
how are you?
Hello, I'm very well. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
Right. So we're also broadcasting on Instagram. Would you want to join us on
Wow.
Instagram now?
I think we're already there. You have to put the join thing.
Right.
And it
Okay.
comes up.
So we can see you on Instagram as well.
You can see me here, right?
I haven't seen you on Instagram yet.
Oh.
You haven't connected. You're just looking at the camera.
It's not there yet.
Right. So just before,
1 second.
right.
It doesn't come on like this. So
By the way, Lady D, you're always looking fabulous.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
This is confusion with the new technology now, right? Trying to use Instagram and
I know.
so forth.
We'll get a hang of it.
Yeah, yeah.
let me go back to my
I had
Instagram
just had
page.
a Zoom meeting a few minutes ago. You should have seen me trying to use Zoom.
Right.
We're gonna have to go back to school.
Just fiddle around. We get the hang of it.
No, I'm only kidding with you. I got it down pat. Actually.
I trust you. I trust you. That's the Lady D I know.
Yeah.
Right. So we just give a moment for Charlie Boy to go back to his seat and
Sure.
right. So we have him. We have you guys on Instagram now.
You see us? Great. We're with you.
Right. Okay. Yes, I can see you. Oh wow. Yes.
Turn the volume down.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So the topic of discussion today is the Africa we want. And just before I brought you on, I was telling our viewers about the Agenda 2063, the AU Agenda 2063, which is a blueprint for where Africa should be by 2063. And I read out, of course, what the blueprint is about. But I'm going to start off by just asking you what your Africa should be.
One where people are selfless, one where we have leaders that we can look up to, real role models. Okay? The Africa of my dream is one where young people's dream can blossom, can flourish, without them having to run to somewhere else for greener pasture. That should be what my Africa should look like.
Right. Absolutely.
And I think we both share.
Exactly.
We both share the same.
Right.
Well said.
I'm going to come to Lady D, no problem. I'm going to come to Lady D. That's the Africa we all wish for.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, we're living in times where it looks like we've not only taken a step back, but we've taken like giant strides backwards,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
in Nigeria. And that's not where
Hmm.
that's not where we want to be. That's going to bring me to talking about you know we at the point where we're rooting for a one Africa. Everybody wants to see Africa without boundaries. Everybody wants to see an Africa that can trade with herself with little or no hiccups, that we currently face, as far as having different currencies in every few kilometers that you go around on the continent of Africa. And so, with all these issues, Nigeria is supposed to be, we call ourselves the giants of Africa. We're supposed to be playing the big brother role. But lately we've seen ourselves, being so absolutely disrespected. Just the other day, an individual in Ghana went and raced down Nigerian embassy. These are just one of the few things that have been happening to us. So if we want to see an Africa that have good governance, an Africa that can provide for herself, an Africa without boundaries, an Africa that is developed, without a Nigeria that seems to
Okay,
that
yeah.
she knows where she's going. How is that possible, Charlie Boy, to achieve?
It's not possible, not with the kind of leadership you have. You say the giant of Africa. We are no longer a giant. We're like rats. Okay. So, and we have failed to offer leadership. So, I mean, nobody's looking up to Nigeria. They rather face the direction of Ghana.
Mm,
Ghana, right here, is showing more leadership than Nigeria is showing. So, hey,
well,
you know,
I know that in the
things,
in
things, things, things must have to reboot. Okay,
mm,
if if things are going to get any better. Okay, because
right,
we're stuck with a leadership that is not progressive.
mm,
So we have motion without movement,
wow,
and it's quite unfortunate. Yeah.
motion with movement. Yeah, I know that there have been times when you have protested, and in the recent past that I remember, when you went and you took the Okada riders, and you went to Worcester Market to protest. In my opinion, I mean, you as an artist and also as an activist, what do you think? How have you been able to impact anything with the current government? Have you been able to do anything? Have you been able to make any statements with the platform that you have and the influence that you have?
Well, I'm not taking records of what I've succeeded in doing. Mine is to do. And because what I do comes from within, deep within, from my soul. So
Right.
I enjoy adding value. Okay. And the value that I think I bring to the table is
Mm,
just to sensitize young people about what their rights, for them
mm,
not to forget their rights,
right.
hoping that if I could groom them to have the right kind of mindset,
Mm,
then they'll better understand, they'll be in a position to understand what is happening to them.
mm,
That
mm,
unless they challenge the status quo,
right.
certainly their dreams are going to die here. So that is what it's all about, because the people that has occupied the political space, especially a lot in Africa, but more
Mm,
especially in my country, Nigeria,
mm.
uh, they're nothing but a bunch of riffraffs and people who know nothing about leadership. And I don't think that they came to serve.
I
And that
agree.
is the major problem. They didn't come to serve. They have their agenda, which is quite unfortunate. And because of our docility, We have allowed it to become so, which is quite unfortunate. So I think in every country's history, there comes a time, a tipping
Mm,
point. America is going through its own right now.
mm,
And I'm hoping that we will, Nigeria that is, will
mm,
finally, in the face of all of these injustices everywhere,
mm.
okay, we will finally be united by our poverty, our hopelessness, our insecurity,
Mm.
if
Wow.
nothing else.
Lady D, I'm gonna ask you. You've been married to Charlie Boy for 41 years. If I'm
42.
42 years.
I'm
Wow.
not count. I'm not counting any longer.
Right.
She says she
So
know the count again. Oh.
so when you first
She
came,
has lost. She has lost count.
so Lady D, you were born in America, in the United States of
Yes.
America, and then you met, of all the people, you met Charlie Boy, and then you married him,
But he
and then,
wasn't. He wasn't the Charlie Boy, the activist, Charlie Boy, the musician. He wasn't all that when we met.
right,
It
right.
was just a student in school and so forth.
I
Yeah.
was a very good boy when we met.
He wasn't the good boy, but he was a boy. Yeah.
Right. So when you met him and you left the United States of America and you came to Nigeria, how would you compare the Nigeria that you came into and the Nigeria that you live now? You live in now.
Um. When I first came to Nigeria, of course, I've never left the country, the United States before. So of course, it was an adventure for me.
Mm.
I remember when I came to Nigeria, I think the dollar was like $2 to 1 naira or
Wow.
something like that, if I can remember back that far. And I mean, look at what it is now. It's
Mm.
it's 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 depreciated so much.
Right.
So yes, things are much different than it was when I first came to Nigeria. But
Mm.
I've learned to take the challenges as they come. You know.
Right. Right. Just like the rest of us.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
yes. So Charlie Boy, I'm gonna ask you, in 2007, you were talking about wanting to inspire the youth. And in 2007, history was taken out of the curriculum of our education system till 2019. Now, how can you inspire a generation that don't know where they're coming from, don't know their history, don't know what their background is? If a person does not know where their roots is, if they don't know their story, they don't know their history, how can they even know that they have a problem and that problem needs to be fixed? And what will actually motivate these people? Why do you think, though, that in other countries we have young people getting up and causing a revolution? Is it the word? Yes, revolution. But in Nigeria, we seem to have young people who are almost like an "I don't care" attitude. Do you think that is stemming from the fact that they don't know where they're coming from? When a government can take out teaching history for over a decade.
Uh, yes, because we're still under colonialism,
Mm,
okay? And it's all about the haves and the have nots,
mm,
and to keep the have nots way down at all times. Listen, and that is why I'm involved with sensitizing.
mm,
I've been doing this for the past 4 decades. I didn't start 2007,
mm,
okay? I've been trying to eke out a better mindset for young people because you can't blame them.
mm.
Leadership have failed them, community have failed them,
Right.
their parents, because of everyday survival, have even failed them.
Mm,
Okay. But like I will always say, regardless of what you're handed down with, it's up to you because it's your life, it's your future.
mm,
It's up to you to make it work for yourself. Now,
mm,
I always say that a slave who doesn't not understand the precept and the concept of freedom will forever remain a slave.
Right.
So first, it's about the mindset, and that is what, through my sensitization and all the protests that I've been involved with, this is what I'm trying to let young Nigerian youth understand, that the people in Aso Rock or the people in the government houses are not their lord and masters. They are servants. And that's why we come up with the catchphrase, now we be government. Until young people start to understand and have that mindset that they can really make things so broken, people don't even believe that is even now. But I do believe in young people, and are in the hands of these exceptional people, exceptional youths. So it's not just the people in Guarem.
Right. Right. I want to take you to the memory of your dad. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I want to take you to the memory of your dad, Justice, God rest his soul, Justice Oputa.
It's funny. See it now. Just press request. That's request. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, she's back here.
Right. Okay, you went off Instagram.
Okay, Lady D went to use the bathroom.
Right. Okay. So quickly, we can just continue while she does that. I want to take you back to the memory of your late father. God rest his soul. I was opportune to meet him, Justice Oputa. And he was an amazing, amazing, amazing human being. I used to joke with him at the time. He was very old already, but I used to come to your home and I would joke with him and call him my boyfriend because he knew so much about my village, about my town, and so we usually have long chats. And your father was known as the Socrates of the Supreme Court, and then the government gave him the charge to, bring justice and equity to some of the people that have been wronged during the military era. And the Oputa panel was set up. Everything was, recommendations were made, and nothing came out of it. And so we find ourselves in the situation where we're still almost as though we're still in military regime in civilian clothing. In experiencing the way your father what's the word now? The way your father interacted with the government, how would you analyze what could have been if people like your father were still around?
Well, one thing is to make recommendation, and another thing is for the people you're making recommendation to implement. Okay, that's the bottom line. And I think while he was on that panel, like the man I know, he gave nothing but his best and his soul to the assignment he was given. Okay, and I'm very proud. I'm very proud to say that I had a good teacher in my old man, my late father, who always would tell me, especially when I was very little and rascally, that anywhere you see injustice, fight it, child, fight it before it chops your head off. So I think all in all, the Oputa family, from my father to myself, we've contributed a whole lot to to our space, our environment. Out of what my father contributed, the little I'm trying to do. Yeah,
Are you sometimes scared?
the
Are
sound
you
is
sometimes
gone. The picture is
I can see you.
okay. Am I sometimes what?
Are you
Scared.
sometimes
Oh,
afraid,
okay.
especially now? Are you sometimes afraid to stand up for what you believe because of how the sort of leadership that we have, where people are castigated? Are you sometimes worried about standing up for what you believe nowadays? Did you
As
hear
a
me?
human being, yeah, of course, I'm worried. I'm worried not just for myself, my family.
Mm,
Yes, and I'm answering your question. I said, as a human being, I'm worried. I'm worried
mm,
about myself. I'm worried about my family.
mm,
I'm worried about my kids, my loved ones, you know.
mm.
And but that's not what you fill your head with,
Right.
because you're only driven by the passion of what you're doing, you know.
Mm,
So yeah, from time to time you may think that, but because you have a date with history, so you're not, I mean, why stay in the kitchen if you can't take the heat, you know? So these
right.
things comes with their goofs and gaps and their danger sometimes, but we don't dwell on it. We dwell on what needs to be done
Mm,
so things can be better.
right. And
And it doesn't take, you know.
go ahead. Well, Lady D, I'm gonna come.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm gonna come to Lady D now. And one of the things, one of the areas we want to touch today is African family
Give me
values.
choosing.
With the deterioration and decay
Okay.
in African societies. I mean, how would you say that
Yeah.
in trying to copy what happens in the Western world, how much has that affected the way our society has deteriorated or decayed in moral standing? Did you hear me, Lady D? I can hear you. Yes.
Hmm. Well, if you look at the difference in the cultures, you can see that the way I'm hearing you. Can you hear me?
Go ahead. I think we're having a confliction
Okay.
with
When you're looking at the difference in culture, and
right.
you look at our lifestyles in Nigeria and our lifestyle in the US,
Mm,
you know there are differences. I find out because I have the both the best worlds.
right.
I live in America and I as well live in Nigeria. So I also look at the foundation and the lifestyle of the children and our lifestyle of our children. And can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
And the lifestyle of our children in Nigeria. And there's a difference. When you look at um, the family values, you can see that we are different in our lifestyles. Like the children in the US now,
Right.
if you hear how they react to their parents, it's different from the way we react to our parents here in Nigeria, or the children react to their parents here in Nigeria. You know, they tend to be aggressive. They don't have the they don't have the discipline that the children, I would say here, but at least my children and the children that amongst our family, we have a way we talk to our elders. We have a way that we respect our parents. When you look at some of the lifestyle, and I'm not saying all families, you understand, because there are a lot of differences there as well. So in the U.S., you cannot beat your child. You cannot, or else you can be arrested. I mean, that seems a little bit, difficult for me to understand, because I should be able to discipline my child. And I'm not talking about aggressively to where they are hurt, but I should be able to discipline my child. They should know that I can discipline them, but not going to back them. You understand? You understand? So you have a lot of similarities, you have a lot of differences. Cultures are different.
No delay.
Wow, the sound is not doing us very well today, but we're trying. So with you, I've seen how you've raised a fantastic, a beautiful family, a stable family, and according to the typical African person, looking at you and your husband, they would not imagine that you'll be able to achieve that. But that's what you've achieved. You have achieved raising wonderful human beings who are stable, who are positively contributing to society's growth. And so, what would be um, with the way you and your husband Charlie Boy look like,
Is it
like
music
like
thing?
one will wonder how were you able to achieve that? What
Hello.
what's the magic?
Yes, connections are bad everywhere.
Mhm.
We've lost Charlie Boy on Facebook. Sorry, we lost you both on Facebook. Could you check your device on Facebook? You're no longer seen on Facebook. Sorry about this. Uh-huh.
Crazy.
Hmm.
She's
Right, you're back.
Susan, the delay on this network is mad.
It is crazy. It's crazy. It's never been this bad. I
oh my God.
I struggle to hear you, but we'll just make the best of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe you should take off your earpiece on Instagram. The earpods on Instagram, probably that would help. Okay.
Okay, we should just kill the Instagram
Oh no, just
or
the
put it off.
earpiece. She's taking off the earpiece on Instagram. That's fine because no, there are people watching you on Instagram. They won't be happy.
No,
No.
the earpiece is not on Instagram.
It's on you.
It's on you. It's here.
Right. Fine. Okay, but you're good now.
Yeah.
Let's just run with it before it misbehaves again.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
my question is, you don't look like a typical African family that a typical African mind.
But we're not.
Yes. Well, when it comes to talking about family values and stuff, some African
We are.
typical African-minded person will be thinking, why would it be you that I ask? But it is you that I ask because it is you who have been married for 42 years. It is you who have a large family and able to keep your family together. You've raised wonderful children, grandchildren. I have met your family. I've spent time with your family. They are sound, they are morally sound and grounded. And so, what would be your secret or magic about how you've been able to raise and keep your family together and still doing what you do as individuals?
Like she said, we all die here, and we do what we do. Yeah, we do what we do with a lot of friendship
Right.
and consideration and being
Mhm.
sensitive towards,
Yeah, to each other. Yeah.
to each other. You know,
Mm,
uh, I
And
always
it's
say,
God's will.
I beg,
right.
wait
Yes, it's
first,
God's will,
wait, wait,
Susie.
wait,
Don't
wait,
mind
wait,
him,
wait,
oh,
wait.
because all at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's you don't get to um yes, you work at it, but it's the grace. You understand? At the end of the day, that's the bottom line. Because people always ask you that question: "What's the magic? How do you do?" But that's
No,
you know.
the grace is, I think the grace we're talking about here is also about understanding.
Right.
It's also about remaining loyal to your vows.
Right.
Okay. Now that takes a lot of discipline.
Yeah,
Mm,
tell me.
Okay. That takes a lot of hard work.
Hmm.
You don't achieve it by, yes, if you have friendship, it's going to help.
right.
Okay. And there's things that come up in marriages that, I mean, nobody ever had the
Yeah,
experience
yeah.
before going in. You learn as
As you
you
go
go.
along, yeah.
Okay. So, but if you have decided that no matter what it is, we'll sort it out
Mm,
together, that takes some certain kind of understanding.
Mhm.
So, of course, we can be your typical average African couples like that.
right.
Because, like she said, we give each other space, but we talk a lot. We talk a
Mm,
lot. We have great friendship. So these are all the little ingredients that helps longevity.
right.
Because Susan, hey, I'm not gonna lie you. Marriage na management too. Na management
And he's a
too.
manager.
And I'm a manager.
I know.
Uh,
No, I,
That
re-
is
he makes it sound so bad. I mean, maybe
but it's bad. It's bad.
it's
We're
bad.
dealing with too many bullshit here. It's
you know
bad,
what?
but it's bad good.
He
It's
says it's
bad good.
management. I don't know whether I like that. It's management. You know, it sounds somehow like maybe he has his entrepreneur. He's running a company or
You know
something.
what?
It's
You
Yeah,
know
it's
what,
a it's an enterprise.
Lady D? You know what, Lady
huh?
D? I'm also married, and my husband's name is Charles. And I will tell you,
Oh wow.
Oh,
he will say the same. I think he manages.
oh well.
Okay, there is someone on Instagram, or Sas Obey 48, I believe. He says to ask Charlie Boy, would you ever run for a political office?
I think that answers your question.
That's back to saying that. Right. So
No,
you recently, go ahead.
no, I don't think I'm not cut out like that. It's just
Right.
like asking me, can I ever be a footballer?
Mm,
I don't know how to play football. I don't
mm.
even know. I think I'm the only African who doesn't know how to dance. Can you imagine me? I don't sabi dance, you know. So I mean, I'm living my best life. I'm doing things that I want to do,
Right.
my own way.
Right.
Okay, and I'm
And the
glad
best
that,
of both worlds. Yes,
and
yes.
I'm glad that I'm doing it my way. What
Mm,
speaks to my soul, that's
mm.
what I go out for. So
Right.
politics, I don't think it's for me. I don't
Right.
think I can say something in the morning and it changes in the afternoon. By the evening, I'm saying something else. No, I don't
Right.
understand those kind of politics.
Right.
So I
Right.
rather roll with young people that I like to mentor, I like to inspire. I think that's what keeps me youthful too.
Right. And that's going to bring
Yeah.
me to saying you recently, just a few days ago, you celebrated 70 years. 70. And there you are. Talking about running with young people. What's wrong with you?
It's called Susan. It's called vampire blood, vampire things.
He doesn't want to get old, Susan. That's just it.
Yeah. What's your secret? What's your secret? Is it Lady D? Lady D is the secret?
No, I'm not the secret. The secret is what his
No,
intake, is the
she's
exercise, his
well,
diet.
I can read it all out for you.
Yeah.
She's part of it in the sense that my home is peaceful.
Mm,
Okay, my home is very very peaceful. My home is calm.
mm,
Okay, but 50% of it is in the genes.
mm,
I fell off of a very good,
Yeah.
you said it. I fell from a very good tree.
mm-hmm.
Okay. I come from a very rich heritage and pedigree. So
Right.
a lot has to do with genes. So
Mm-hmm.
50% of it is genes. Then the
Mm-hmm.
other 50 is lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Mm,
A bigger
I,
part of it.
yeah, I exercise regularly. I watch what I eat.
mm,
I not only watch what I eat, but I watch who I hang out with.
right.
I watch, what I'm looking at,
Mm,
and I'm careful about what I listen to.
right.
So my life is kind of regimented,
Right.
and because my constituency and the people I like to roll with are young people, so
Mm,
how can I get old?
right.
And Shebi, we all say it's just but a number. So you explain to me why I feel 40, and
Mm.
you people say I'm 70. I mean, does that make sense?
So it's not. Wait, now
And
the
his
one.
colors, his colors are like 40. See the colors. Sometimes I said, "Are you colorblind?" I'm
Yeah.
confused.
So one of the things we want, the Africa we want, one of the things we want is to see people living longer on the continent of Africa, because the projection they have for Africa right now is the average, lifespan is 55 or thereabouts. And so this is one of the things that Africa needs to um, um,
Yeah.
we need to work out something. Why are we dying so young when we live in more natural environments, places we eat more natural food? But we also understand that a lot of GMO foods are now present on the continent of Africa, and so it's cheaper. And people are beginning to eat things with a lot of all these modified foods with chemicals and stuff that we don't understand. And so it would be nice that you inspire other people listening right now to take care of themselves and live longer. And then to Lady D, what have you been doing? I know that you one time I know that you were inspiring a lot of young women with crafts and doing a lot of creative stuff. Um, During this COVID-19, you've been stuck at home, most of course with Charlie Boy and the rest of the
Yeah,
family. How
yeah,
have you done anything during these times to with the young people that you teach um, crafts
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff?
I'm always looking for ways to empower women.
Hmm,
In my own little tiny way. I'm giving back because
right,
I like to teach people to fish. You understand? Because at the end of the day, when they're independent, they are less of a burden to you. So I
right.
have a group of women that I've been teaching all kinds. Matter of fact, we have so many things that we do. But
Hmm,
recently, I think you've been watching my YouTube channel where I'm teaching. I want to give back freely to the community. To anybody that wants to watch, it's free. You can just
right.
go online and look at how you can work with eco-friendly products,
Hmm,
with tires, with bottles, with glass, with newspapers, how we can take and recycle those products and turn them into money making machines. So at the
right.
end of the day, now I'm just using my own little part to give back to the community and try and train as many people as I can train. I had a school at one time, but I was not able to keep that running. It was
Right.
very difficult getting sponsorship and then getting teachers and things to come out and work with
Mm.
us and stuff like that. So right now, I think the best thing to do is just to put it online and just do it and let people see it. Those who want to tap into it, but tap into it. I'm looking for some people now who are talented in that field to
Right.
really produce watch these programs and come out and show me what they have, and we would look at how we're going to do projects together and how we
Right.
can take it further, because we have so much in Nigeria. We're so rich, actually, at the end of the day. And export and imports. Export is what we should be looking at, products and tie and dyeing and arts and crafts of all kinds, because it's very
Yes.
popular in the US and other countries. So
Right.
and people are actually doing that right now. I mean, it's big. So, and I'm just wanting to do my own little small part and give back what I can give back, you know?
Yeah. Haven't heard you say that you had a school and you shut it down, and now you're doing it online. Online is good. Online is where the future is.
Much
But
better for me. Yeah.
yeah, I
No, but
also
it's much easier for me, and it's simplified.
right. But
But the problem is, how many people have internet?
that's
That's
what
an issue to look at.
that's what I wanted to ask you. How many Nigerians? Because
Yeah,
data is so expensive back home in Nigeria
yeah,
that if you
yeah.
put it online, a lot of other people will benefit from it. But if it's for the purpose of empowering people in your locality, I really doubt that a lot of people have access to that. So why couldn't you
Well,
collaborate with? Why
well,
couldn't you
go ahead.
collaborate with the government at some level to keep the school open?
Look, my sister, I'm looking for different
We
ways.
don't do government in this house. We don't have any business. We are a government of on our own. Are you hearing me?
Susan, don't mind him.
This
On a
is a
serious
government.
note, um, those people, there are a lot of people who are online, and there
Right,
are a lot of. Well, what I'm looking for right now is, I've. If you happen to catch it online, I'm looking to empower like 10 people. They
right,
would come, they would train, they'll work with me, and at the end of the day, if I find that they're good enough and I think that they're talented, because I'm looking for talented people,
right,
then I will employ them.
right,
So, you know, you will reach your level. You will reach those who you're going to reach. I can only do what I can do as an individual.
right.
You understand?
Right, right. And so I'm going to come to asking you. Both of you have lived in the United States of America, and then you've lived in Nigeria, but the times have changed. There's a lot of fear in the air. Um, as African American originally, Lady D, with the realities of killing of George Floyd, there's a lot of awakening even on the continent of Africa with the way they perceive the Western world, and so. Do you have any fears and worries as you live in Nigeria when it comes to the vaccines and the health care that is available? What are your worries, or what are
Of
the things?
course, of course I have. Of course I have fears. I have fears. I have going back to George Floyd. I have fears for my own children that are in the United States. I mean, my
Mm,
son is getting ready to go back to the U.S. very shortly, and I
mm,
have fear every time the phone rings. I'm afraid to hear what my daughter or
mm,
my son or my sister will tell me.
mm.
And it's a normal fear, I think, for parents altogether, generally. But
Right,
it's scary what's going on in the world at the end of the day. And then with this COVID, at the end of the day, yes, I am afraid that if something like that were to happen to any one of our family here in Nigeria to catch it,
mm,
how would we be treated? How do we,
mm.
or what kind of treatment will be provided to us at the end
Right,
of the day? So yeah, I'm afraid, girl. I'm afraid for
right,
real.
right. And so, in your own little way, how would you say the what would be the measures that ordinary Africans and Nigerians should be looking at to protect themselves so that they don't get sick? What have you been doing to keep yourself safe from COVID-19? And what would you say that this is what's available in your local in the environment where you're at to make sure that you don't necessarily need to go to the hospital with little or no facilities to help anyways.
Yeah, no facilities, and then people just don't have the finances either at the end of the day for
Mm,
treatments. But the
mm,
bottom line is that we have to do what we know. Everybody, people know what to do. A lot of people just don't believe, probably. I mean, it depends on the level. You
right.
understand? But the bottom line is to mask, wash hands, watch who's coming into your house. That is why even this interview now is so great that it can be online. You don't
Right.
have to, nobody has to come to your space, and
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about carrying it going back home to your own family. You
Right.
understand? So, I mean, these are the basic things that we need to do, and make sure your staff that's coming in, because we have to work. At the end
Mm,
of the day, you have to keep your family going, so you have to go out.
right.
So you need to protect yourself and doing that and making sure that you teach those people that are closest to you, because it's
Mm,
about education. So you have to teach your staff. Not all my staff, they come in. Matter of fact, it's me the other day that went out. I even forgot my mask. They were like, madam, you didn't wear mask. Oh, I had to go back upstairs and get it, because can you imagine them telling me, reminding me,
mhm.
I just forgot.
Right.
So we have to, if by training them and teaching them, they
Mm,
also go home and take care of their own families too as well.
right. And back
Yeah.
to Oga Charlie Boy, I want to call you Oga, even though you like to feel so young. You are young.
I'm father, father, father,
Area,
father,
area,
area father.
area.
Listen, let me tell you something.
Mm,
Area father is not a title,
mm,
okay? It's a
mm,
way of life.
right.
Did you get that?
Yes, I get it. I get it.
Uh-huh. So I've been fathering, oh, my children are so many now.
Hmm.
You know now,
Yeah.
I've made it possible that millions of youths have been
Mm,
able to hold on to their dream, whatever that is,
right.
and never to let anybody kill their dreams for them, not
Right.
even their parents. Because if the brand Charlie Boy can do it, I believe anybody that sets their mind to their dream
Mm,
and pursues their dream with vigor can equally do it. you
right.
know, because a lot of young people have passed through the Charlie Boy University. So, yeah, I mean, there are a lot of stars who have passed through my hands. Even
Yeah.
your great Majek Fashek, the
Yeah.
late Majek Fashek. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I think I'm just a natural born teacher. That's what I am.
Right. So finally, I'm going to ask you this. This when when you were talking about when you responded to my earlier question, um, when I talked about them the government taking out history from the curriculum, and then you made mention about colonialism. Do you think though that it was taken out of the curriculum simply because the Western powers that have a stronghold on the continent in our country must have influenced that? Do you think that they didn't want it to be taught in schools so that we don't know what our history is, and then of course people without a history who don't know their history are like a tree whose roots are almost exposed, and every wind that blows will take it any which way it pleases.
I think it's systematic, okay? It's
Yeah.
all a ploy to keep the people
Ignorance.
ignorant, okay? As far as they're ignorant is to their own benefit.
Mm,
So whether the West or Europe is our puppet master,
mm,
but the puppets are willing puppets, you see,
yeah.
because they are not puppets who have the best interests of the people they govern. Okay?
Yeah.
So, of course, for every discomfort that we face or we're going through,
Mm,
somebody's making a pot of money off of that,
right.
you know. And that is how it has been right from biblical times. So it's not a new phenomenon. Yeah.
Right. And quickly, Lady D, there is an organization that is, well, you are you can be seen as a diasporan, but you live on the continent of Africa. But you've come to Nigeria, you've lived in Nigeria, you've loved Nigeria, you are Nigerian, and there's a program where they're trying to identify diasporans, African diasporans, and wanting to bring them together on a platform where they can, of course, use the power, their economic power, to come back to the continent for development purposes. And it's called the
Why are you laughing?
OURDDI it's ADDI, sorry, OURADDI.org. So, have you been able to this question is for Lady D. Have you been able to, when you go back to the United States of America, have you had the feeling though that African Americans are wanting to maybe come back home to Africa and probably don't know how to go about it?
Well, it's funny you asked that because I started a travel group,
Mm,
and I happen to actually speak to a lot of African Americans who are very interested in coming to Nigeria, coming back to the motherland.
right.
But when they look at the security risks and
Mm,
what they hear all kinds of negative things
mm,
about Africa,
mm,
they are skeptical about doing such. But yes, I have really, and a lot of people. Well, at the end of the day, now with this COVID issue and stuff like that,
mm,
nobody's traveling anywhere. But your question is, where did I find any people interested? And yes, I have. Many
right,
are
right.
interested. They want to come to Ghana. They want to come to Nigeria. They want to go to South Africa.
Mm,
And yeah, yeah.
The place they like to go a lot is Ghana, not Nigeria.
Well, that's true.
Nigeria is not safe. It's Ghana they like to go to.
once upon
Yeah,
a time, we were
yeah.
Yes,
Once upon a
once
time.
upon
Yeah,
a
yeah.
time. Yeah.
but we our prayer is that in the shortest period of time, that with the mercies of
That
God,
is what I'm talking about, Susan. Prayers cannot cut it. Prayers without hard work cannot cut it.
so who is going to make
God
the
isn't going to come down. It's
We will pray and we will do the hard work.
We are all guilty,
yes.
especially those of you who are in the diaspora. What are you doing? Because
Okay.
your money, the money you send home, is
Mm,
just like oil money. So you
mm-hmm.
should be more interested in what
What's happening
is
in the
going
country?
on
Yeah.
in your country. So what are you putting, you guys? Are you putting yourself together?
Okay,
That's
so
what you should be talking about.
you're right, and
Because
so
because this country needs to be rescued.
yes,
It's going to the dogs.
right. I totally agree with you. So because you have challenged us who live outside of Africa, so now
Yeah.
I'm going to challenge you. You have a platform now. Do something, start something, and see us come and join forces with you. What exactly?
CEO, CEO, CEO,
What have
CEO.
you been doing all this time?
What thing I they do for 40
What
years?
I'm doing,
Start
what I'm doing
something.
now, what I'm
Do you
doing now.
know? Do you know last year? Hey, cool down for Jesus. Susan, I'm talking. Cool
Oh yeah,
down.
oh
Do you
yeah.
know how many countries I went to last year talking to
Mm,
people in the diaspora?
mm,
Do you know how many people were telling me, say, we're here. I don't know what you guys in Nigeria are doing. You
mm,
guys are all messed up.
mm.
Person we just come out 2 years ago. Now
Yeah.
they tell me this kind of thing.
Mm.
And
And
I had things like, listen, I'm cool here. When I die, they bury me here. That place where they go, no be somebody do and before you can stay there.
mm. But
Didn't when the people who made that environment the way it is, and that's why you guys are comfortable.
you cannot blame the individuals. I have to say that though. You can't blame the all on the individuals. The truth
No, I'm
is,
not saying everybody. I'm not
yeah.
saying everybody, but I mean we should organize ourselves because I believe that the salvation will
Mm,
need to now come from people in the diaspora because the people here are broken, they're weak.
But that's what
They're
is
weak.
that's what we're talking about now. That's what we're talking about. For those of you in the diaspora watching this program, there is an organization, there is a website you can go to. It is ouraddi.org. ouraddi.org. You can go there and register yourself. The purpose of this is so that we in the diaspora can come together collectively and begin to pull our resources together to bring about the change that Africa so desires. And so finally, yes, yes, it is an organization started by the former ambassador of the AU to the United States, Dr. Arikana Chayombri Kwayo. So this is something that I'm backing fully with every platform that I have. So final words, Charlie Boy and Lady D. Final words, as we call it a day on the program.
Well, final words. God's blessings to everybody who's been watching this. I wish Africa, I wish Nigeria in particular,
Mm,
the best. Um, we're in a very precarious time,
mm,
but I know that our tipping point will soon happen,
mm.
and then we can let it go as worse as is ever imaginable, and start to rebuild again, because I think we're passing through a rebooting time period. Is global. It's not just Nigeria. So I wish everybody luck.
And Lady D, your final words.
He said it all, really, at the end of the day. People should just stay safe, keep their families safe,
Mm,
and just know that COVID is real.
mm,
You can imagine people not being able to go out for 2 or 3 months. I told Charles that this looks like a science fiction movie, things that we
mm.
watch on TV, but it's actually happening in reality. So
Wow.
we have to take it. It's real, and we need to just try to take care of ourselves and our families and stay
Mm.
safe, everybody.
Oh, stay safe. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Well, just before you go, Charlie Boy and Lady D, do an endorsement for Africa Rise with Susan West.
Go ahead. He's thinking.
Okay, this is your numero uno, and my name is Charlie Boy, the area father. You're the number one of Africa, and the president of all frustrated Nigerians. Keep it real with Susan West. Yes, these are the channel where they like to watch when I won't get sense. You know?
Thank you.
All
Thank
right, my dear. Thank you so
you.
much, huh?
By the way, I
Bye
just want
bye.
to say thank you to Lady D especially for coming on at the last minute. I just was like I just like was like a pest. I wanted to have you, and then you finally came at the last minute, and I'm grateful. Thank you for honoring
Yeah,
us
thank
with
you
your
so much.
presence.
Thank
Yes.
you. Take care. Stay
Yes.
safe, sister.
Yes, I am. I'm trying. Thank you. And so, yes, thank you so much for everyone who's joined us. I can see a lot of comments. I see Lovett Award, Dr. Lovett Award saying, I truly enjoyed the discussion with Charlie Boy and Lady D. Nice one, Sue. Thank you. On Instagram, sorry, a little small there. There is no COVID-19 in Nigeria. Are you kidding me? Someone is saying there's no COVID-19 in Nigeria. There is COVID-19 everywhere. I do understand what you're trying to say. I think you're trying to say that it is exaggerated. Well, all the same, thank you for joining us on Africa Rise on Susan with Susan West this Sunday. And I want you to keep a date with us next Sunday. We're going to be announcing our guests as we're going into the week, and it's only going to get better. For those of you who have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please remember to subscribe. It is underscore Susan West. Like our page on Facebook. Follow us on Facebook. It is underscore Susan West. Follow us on Instagram. It is underscore Susan West. Very easy to remember. Underscore Susan West on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So that when we come on live, you're not going to be trying to find out where we are. Sometimes some people are messaging me saying, I can't find you. I can't find you. Thank you so much, and God bless you always. Take care.